Let's talk about project resource scheduling. Here's the agenda for this lesson. First, we'll talk about some of the key terms. Then we'll get into the generic life cycle of scheduling just to help paint a picture. Then we'll discuss some of the new features that have been implemented with the latest version here. And finally, we'll have two demonstrations on how you can resource schedule. So with that being said, let's get started. We just took a look at resource scheduling when there is not a work breakdown structure involved. So now we'll look at an alternate path, which is to build a team using the WBS and then assigning and fulfilling those resources. So let's schedule a project that actually has a work breakdown structure existing prior to getting into scheduling. So in our last example, we showed scheduling a project without a work breakdown structure, and typically, from my experience in the type of companies that we implement, that's what we see, where they want to understand if they're going to have the resources available prior to coming up with your project plan. But I know there's quite a few projects where the project plan exists, and then you go schedule the resources. So that's what we're going to be looking at here. So I'm going to go to this project that I already created called this scheduling example, project 146. So we'll just jump into the details of that. If we go look, right now the project team and scheduling tab is blank. There's nothing in there. We have a work breakdown structure existing if I go look at the WBS. So it's just a simple work breakdown structure where we need a PM that's filled by the PM role and two software developer spots they're filled by software developers, and then we have a tester role as well that's going to be doing quality assurance. So if we jump into here, basically we can see that there is this button called auto generate team that we can use. But first, if we look and we try and hit this drop down, we can't assign anybody because we haven't built a team. You can actually launch the resource assignment form if you want to and assign people on the fly. But what we're going to do is show some of the new functionality. So you can auto generate your team, which means it's going to create those roles that we looked at in our last example. So if we auto generate the team, it's going to say you're going to create one project manager, two software developers, and one tester. Do you want to proceed? And we'll say yes. And then we have to wait for it to run its magic, which it just did. And now we have PM1, SD1 and 2, and then a tester. So now if we go back and look at our project details and go to the fast tab for project team and scheduling, we can see the two software developers were added, the project manager was added, and that tester was added, all for the timeline, based upon the timeline of the project. So you can see that tester is only needed for 1 week from 425 to 429. And notice we kind of skipped the booked hours methodology that we used in the last demonstration. But instead of booking hours, you just assigned hours right away. And really all you need to do is fulfill those hours. So if we go to software developer 1, we don't specify any hours because they're already specified. We can fulfill that resource. So just fulfill the resource. And it's going to bring you to all your different resources, and it's showing you that this guy's needed full time for the time allocated here. It's showing us that Jeff Ford is not available for 2 of the 3 weeks. So if we wanted to put him on this for the 3rd week, we could, but that really is not going to make, oh, it looks like he wasn't available for, oh yeah, he is. That's kind of goofy there. But anyways, so we can let's pick Derek Brown, and let's just say that he's going to be assigned to this software developer role. We're going to need a tester as well too, so we'll pick the tester. And it's going to show us a daily view because this is only for a week that we're going to need this guy. And it looks like our testers are wide open. And just so you can see what it's filtering off of, you can always click these 3 buttons or the 3 dots right here. And it's saying, I'm looking for anybody with a tester role because that toggle is turned on. If you want to get more granular and add people in here, like you want people with an accounting background as well. Oops, I just screwed that up. Let's go. So we'll add accounting. And then we'll add that tester back in. So we'll go to roles and say tester. And we might not have any here, but if we hit OK, now you can see that it filtered our resources. We don't have any. So you can go back to the 3 dots, and let's get rid of the tester. And let's just see who's an accountant. There we go. We got 3 people. Daniel Goldschmidt might be the person, or Karen, or Mark McClelland. So let's say Mark is going to be our tester, because we're doing a counting modification, and he's going to test that out. So now he's been assigned. So if we just jump back to the project, we can see Derek Brown is now a software developer. Mark's going to be the tester, and then we have those 2 roles as open. And if we go back and look at our work breakdown structure, we can see that their names have been dubbed in to the appropriate tasks. So Derek Brown is now working as Dev 1, the Dev 1 task, whatever that means in this instance, from 4.4 to 4.22. And that task is considered fully staffed because Derek is working on it. And then we have the software developer 2 open. Mark's going to be testing for this week, and PM1 is still not staffed. So that's just showing you a different way of doing things, where you can create the WVS, assign the roles, generate your team, and then just go fulfill your team obligations.